So Sal, let's talk about taking those first steps towards building a consistent workout routine, because consistency is one of those things that we hear is a real battle for women over the age of 50. It is almost as common as I don't have enough motivation to get it done, or I don't have enough time. So we hear that they start, but then what happens is life gets in the road and then they stop. And so that consistency is that one thing that I thought was a great opportunity today to talk about, well, what steps can we take in order to build some level of consistency. And so look, but the first thing that I came up with was not just having a goal, but understanding, like, why do you want to do this? So, what is the motivating factor for you? Because if you don't have something that you're working towards, whether it be an internal reward or an external reward, you're really just going to show up when you feel like it, and you're not going to be consistent. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important that the goal is not our default answers. Lose weight for my health.
Yeah. Or I want to get fitter, I want to get stronger. Yeah, all those things.
Yeah. And when I say my health, I mean making that just a generalization.
Oh, totally. And it was something that we were talking about in one of our FitFlex workouts the other day. I was there working out, and Sue was talking to the ladies. So she was coaching that day, and she was talking to the ladies about, what is it that you want to achieve by the end of this year? And, everybody went those default answers that you're talking about. I want to be stronger, I want to be fitter, I want to be healthier, all of those things. And it was a good opportunity because we have a mother and daughter who work out with us. And I said, now, if I was to use you as an example, Wendy, your mum works out with us and she's in her 80s. Now, you see firsthand in her 80s the things that she's struggling with right now. Now, she's great. And we're not going to take that away from Betty. She is fantastic. But as a daughter who is with her, taking her shopping and doing all those things with her, you would see those limitations, right? And she said, yes. And I said, so we know that based on your mum and dad, that you're going to be living, at probably 20, maybe 30 years beyond where you are now. So you can see firsthand this future if you had a little crystal ball. So what is it that scares you about that? Because this is a great opportunity for you to really, really uncover your why. And that's one of the places you can look at is, what's happened with my parents? Are there things, is this going to be the motivating factor for me? Do you have anything you want to add on that?
No. It's all absolutely true.
So I think the first thing that we really need to do is say, okay, I have to uncover why it is important to me. So you need to grab out the notebook, you need to get out the pen, and you need to write down all of the reasons why. And you've got to be, as you said, really, really specific about why do you want to be healthier? Why do you want to be fitter? Why do you want to be stronger? Why do you want to have energy? Is it to play with the grandkiddos? Is it to, play with your dog or your cat or, whatever the reasons are? And you really, if you struggle with that consistency factor, then you've got to shove it somewhere where you're going to see it all the time.
Absolutely.
So do you put yours somewhere? Do you have yours on your screen as a screensaver on your phone? Do you have it, on a mirror? Where do you have it? Or do you have it
in my phone? Yeah, in my phone, in my iPad, on my laptop.
Yeah, so it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Constant reminder.
Yeah. And
not that it's a constant reminder, but So I don't forget. So I don't get, as we're talking about, literally talking about consistency and, you know, all the other things that come in and stop us from doing what we want to do. You know, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why I have it everywhere, because otherwise I will forget,
Lose
because
sight.
something else will be, lose sight, because I'll be pulled over in that direction. I've got to go over there, you know. So I lose sight of this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
And I think the other aspect of it, Sal, is that we're scared to do the next thing that I'm going to mention, which is to share it with people.
Yes.
Yeah. Because when you share it, you are really putting yourself out there, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. And not only the sharing of this is what I'm doing, but then when you've reached those little goals on the way, the sharing of, look what I've achieved.
Yes.
Because we don't want to brag, or we don't want to feel like we're bragging.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's first and foremost. We really have to have a why, and we've got to understand that why. The second thing that I came up with was actually being realistic about the time that you have available. Because we can all say, I'm going to work out for an hour, 3 times a week. But let's face it, if you're going from nothing to an hour, it's probably not going to happen. So you really have to identify what are the time constraints that you have, how much actual time do you have each day. And this is the thing about consistency. I would say that you need to do it every day, because you stand a better chance of building that into your daily life by doing it every day as opposed to doing it every second day.
Or in the case of some workouts, doing it once a week.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And then I think the next part of it is that you want to at least spend a week logging what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So this way you are at least identifying how much time are you spending working out. It might be 5 minutes one day, 10 minutes the other day. It might be a half an hour the next day. So you're looking for that pattern, you're analysing it, and then you're saying, well, here's what's realistic to me. The other aspect is to look at what pockets or what windows of time do I have. So, for example, we have our grandkids living with us now, and so they are going to therapy every Wednesday. And so every Wednesday morning, I know that I've got an hour. I'm not going to sit there in the doctor's surgery. I take advantage of that hour and I walk up the hill. I go to the nature reserve. I wander around the nature reserve. Sometimes I, get on the equipment there. Other times I'll just sit and, meditate. But it just depends on how I'm feeling. But that's me escaping the chaos of life. But I'm also creating that consistent routine on a Wednesday between 9:15 and 10:15. You can guarantee I'm doing something.
Yeah. And when you are logging it, I think it's great to analyze too, looking at it even further and going, okay, well, of a morning time, I can only get like 10 minutes in, because on Monday and Tuesday, I worked out in the morning, I only got 10 minutes in, but on, Thursday and Friday afternoon when I worked out, I was able to get 45 minutes in. So then you can figure out when you're going to have the most amount of time to do your workouts.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You've also got to look for activities that you're going to be able to get the most bang for your buck. There's no point trying to do like an hour-long yoga session if you got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're probably better off doing a HIIT session, use some weights with it, so you've got some strength and some cardio going on. You're going to get more for your workout, then trying to squeeze that stretching component into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also important to consider what can derail you from that as well too. So, you know, do you need some backup plans? You know, what are the things that are going to get in your road? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Set your boundaries and stop letting people move your boundaries for you,
Yeah, absolutely.
because they will keep moving them.
Oh, totally they will. And then the
Mm.
next part of it, Sal, the number 3 was you got to start smaller than you think. We all think that we're capable of doing more, or we all think we do more than what we actually do. Yeah. And so you might just start with one simple thing. You know, it might be kettlebell swings, and you might go, well, I'm going to do this every time I get up and go to the bathroom. And you might think that that's small, but if you do it every time you get up and go to the bathroom, it adds up. And you're also starting to build that consistency.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 30 minutes. It is about being realistic and starting as small as you possibly need to.
Yeah. And stop and get out of that mindset of, oh, well, I'm only going to get 5 minutes in, so what's the point?
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of building up consistency.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's wrap this up with, what do you think some of the common challenges are with consistency? What do you think that
Family.
Speaking from experience there.
Family.
Well,
yeah, it's really hard. Like,
yeah,
you're getting pulled in 57 different directions.
Mm. Oh, absolutely. I think you've already mentioned one of these things, which is forgetting and losing track. And that's why you've got it in so many different places. I think that is a common challenge, is that we forget about it. Yep. I think another challenge is we get bored, or we lack enthusiasm for whatever it is that we're doing. Yeah. The other thing is that we might lack energy. So we don't wake up bubbly and happy every single morning. And so on those mornings where we just feel a little bit lackluster or a little bit blah, like, oh, I just really don't have the energy for this. So how am I going to combat that? Now, for me personally, I know that there are days when I feel just not doing this, but that's the day where I have to, you know, pull into myself and find my resilience and go, I'm doing a minute. And it was something that I spoke to the kids about. They got cross country coming up. And one of them said to me, the teacher said, I don't have to do it if I don't want to. And she said, so I'm not going to do it. And I said, well, no, I think you should do it. And she said, well, no, the teacher said I don't have to. And I said, it doesn't matter to me what the teacher said. What matters to me is, what is the reason that you're not planning on doing it? She said, it's very long. It's 2 kilometers. And I said, it's not. I said, we do 2 laps of that track. You do that every single morning with me. That's 2 kilometers. I said, so you're looking at it at the distance and how far you have to go, because it's a different environment, whereas you don't have any problem out there walking around the track with me. I said, so, and here's the thing, it's better to participate. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. I said, I didn't really like cross country when I was young. And she said, did you lose? And I said, well, I wouldn't say that I was at the end, but I certainly would say I was never at the beginning either. I was never a winner. I said, but I did it. And I said, so it's not about me giving myself a reason to get out of it. It's about getting involved and doing my best. She went,
I
oh,
think, and I,
all right then.
but I think it's so true. It's your attitude. You've got to have that attitude. And I was teaching my oldies class the other week, and I had one lady walk in. I had them in the functional room. One lady walked in and she goes, "Oh, I don't like this room. It's too dark, and the paint is black. It's so dark. I don't like it." And I went, "Okay." I just looked her dead in the face and I went, "Okay, you can walk back out that door and you can walk back in and you can say, 'Good morning, Sal. How are you?'" And she did. She did. And then after the workout, she said to me, "That was the best workout I've had." And I think it's because her attitude sparked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I think it's so
totally.
important to change your attitude. Do that. Walk back out the door. Walk back into your house, or your studio or whatever it is.
Well, back in our day, we called it homework, right?
Yeah.
It's called LEAP. I don't know what that stands for. Anyway, it's all new to me.
Yeah.
They hated doing it. They've been with us now 6 months, the kids. And it was like always a fight. We'd only do one thing on the list or two things. So we've slowly built up and we've got to the stage, that last term we were doing everything that was coming home on the list. And anyway, so we've gone back and it's the first day of school term on Monday and I've picked them up from school and I've gone, "Yay, it's homework day." And they've gone, "Oh, I hate homework." And I said, "Guess what? I hate it more than what you do. I had to do it myself growing up, right? I then had to do it with my children, and now I'm doing it with grandchildren. And it's changed from when I did it to when the kids did it to when the grandkids do it. So do I love it? No, I don't. But I'm psyching myself up and I'm telling myself I love it. I said, so let's get that chant happening. We love homework. We love homework.
See, attitude.
Totally about the attitude. By the time we got home, we went straight into homework, had our afternoon tea, went straight into homework. No complaining, no nothing, just got it done.
Yeah.
So it is about attitude. So the only other thing I would think of is any physical discomfort or health concerns you've got. That could be a challenge as well too when it comes to consistency, particularly if you're getting the flu or something like that and you're battling some type of virus. That can take a little while to get over and that can derail your consistency as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got my ladies to ask themselves a question this morning because a few of them were saying to me, "Oh, this hurts. This is sore." And I just looked at them and I said, "Would you ring the doctor about it?" "Well, no." And I went, "Well, it's not pain, so you're good to go."
And anyone listening today is going, "We don't want her as a coach." No, we do care.
Yeah, we do care.
We do care. We care a lot, and that's why we actually have heard so many excuses over the past 20 odd years that we go, they really are just reasons not to. They are excuses,
Yeah.
because the person who's standing next to you is probably feeling exactly the same way, but they're not saying it. Maybe
Yeah.
they're thinking it, but they're not saying it. So it's
Yeah.
like, let's just, suck it up and get it done.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Now, anything you want to wrap up with, Sal?
You know me, Peter. It's always about writing it down, keeping that journal, keeping that log.
Yep.
And then you will know, and going back and reading over it, because you'll know how far you've come. You'll know where you started. You'll know how far you've come. You will be able to see the ebb and flows, for want of a better term, as far as your consistency goes. So yeah, big fan of writing it down and keeping a log.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you're just using your journal of a nighttime, which is what I do, as you know, to
Yeah,
help myself. And I think the biggest thing here is that you got to take action in
yeah,
order to be able to build consistency. You got to start small, you got to be patient with yourself, and you got to focus on the end goal and know why you're doing it.
yeah.
And that's where I want to leave it. So thanks for
Perfect.
joining me.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us today, ladies. We hope you got something out of it. If you did, post below, let us know what it is. If you've got a topic that you'd like us to talk about, please just reach out and let us know. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.